trapped in a savage storm, winds howling like beasts, rain slashing like knives, but in the eye of chaos, a serene haven, and the prophet's wisdom that changes everything.
I was standing in the midst of a raging storm, the winds howling around me like a chorus of wolves. The rain pounded against my face, threatening to drown me in its relentless torrent. I felt small and insignificant, a tiny speck in the face of nature's fury. But as I gazed out into the storm, something strange began to happen. The winds seemed to die down, the rain slowed to a gentle patter, and in the center of the tempest, I saw a calm. It was as if the storm had created a miniature oasis, a peaceful haven where I could find refuge from the chaos. I felt a sense of wonder and awe wash over me as I stepped into this tranquil space. The air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers, and the sky above was a brilliant blue, unmarred by a single cloud. In that moment, I remembered the words of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. The earth has been created for me as a mosque and as a means of purification. Bukhari, Volume 1, Book 8, Hadith. I realized that even in the midst of chaos, there was always a chance to find peace. As I stood there, I felt my fears and doubts begin to dissipate. The storm that had seemed so overwhelming suddenly seemed manageable. I remembered the Quranic verse, and indeed with hardship will be ease. Quran 94. I knew that I would face challenges in life, but I also knew that I was not alone. The turning point came when I realized that the storm was not something to be feared, but rather something to be learned from. I thought about the Hadith of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. The strong man is not the one who can wrestle another man down, but the one who can control himself when he is angry. Serenity, Volume 4, Book 14, Hadith 24:74. I realized that I had the strength to face the storm, to weather its fury, and emerge stronger on the other side. As I looked out into the storm, I felt a sense of determination rise up within me. I knew that I would face challenges in life, but I also knew that I had the strength to overcome them. The storm that had once seemed so overwhelming now seemed like a distant memory, a reminder of the power of the human spirit. In that moment, I understood that peace is not something that we find in the absence of challenges, but rather in the midst of them. It is a state of mind, a choice that we make every day to find calm in the midst of chaos. And as I stood there, surrounded by the fury of the storm, I felt a sense of peace wash over me, a sense of tranquility that I had never known before. The winds howled on, the rain pounded against my face, but I stood firm, unshaken by the tempest. I knew that I was not alone, that I had the strength of my faith to guide me through the storm. And as I looked out into the chaos, I saw a glimmer of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there is always a chance to find peace. As I reflect on that moment, I realized that the storm was not just a physical tempest, but a metaphor for the challenges that we face in life. And I know that no matter what storms we may face, we have the strength to find peace, to weather the fury of the tempest, and emerge stronger on the other side. In the words of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, a person's faith is not complete until he loves for his brother what he loves for himself. Muslim, Volume 1, Book 1, Hadith 98. I realized that my peace was not just a personal experience, but a gift that I could share with others. And as I looked out into the storm, I knew that I had the power to create a sense of calm, to bring peace to those around me. As the storm raged on, I felt a sense of purpose rising up within me. I knew that I had a role to play in bringing peace to the world, to be a beacon of hope in a chaotic world. And as I stood there, surrounded by the fury of the tempest, I felt a sense of peace wash over me, a sense of tranquility that I had never known before. The storm may have been fierce, but it was also a reminder of the power of the human spirit. It showed me that even in the midst of chaos, there is always a chance to find peace, to weather the fury of the tempest and emerge stronger on the other side. And as I look back on that moment, I know that I will carry the lessons of the storm with me for the rest of my life, a reminder of the power of faith and the strength of the human spirit. As I continue to stand in the midst of the storm, I feel a sense of wonder and awe wash over me. The winds howl on, the rain pounds against my face, but I stand firm, unshaken by the tempest. I know that I am not alone, that I have the strength of my faith to guide me through the storm. And as I look out into the chaos, I see a glimmer of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there is always a chance to find peace. And that, my friends, is the story of how I found peace in the eye of the storm. It is a story of hope, of resilience, and of the power of the human spirit. It is a reminder that no matter what challenges we may face, we have the strength to find peace, to weather the fury of the tempest, and emerge stronger on the other side.